Hello everyone, this is Lincoln's Prime, and today we are taking a look at the Transformers Studio Series 86 Ironhide. Now honestly, I have to say that this is probably the greatest Ironhide, like retail price Ironhide figure that we have to date. Now it may not be perfect, especially when you look at the vehicle mode, there are a lot of hinges on it, but this is probably some of the best engineering I've seen on a retail price Ironhide figure, just like, well, G1 Ironhide figure, just in general. When it comes to the paint on this figure, there isn't really much. There's really only like the silver here and the silver on the tires and right here on the back, but the rest of it is pretty much just this same exact black, except for like these clear parts which are painted red for mainly these parts right here. But besides that, like the wheel well, the rims are painted, but everything else is mainly just red and clear blue plastic, which does look very, very nice in my opinion. But yeah, and it does come together pretty decently, although you are seeing there are just areas that like to pop up, and those will not go together very well. That is my biggest issue with this, and honestly, well, sadly, I am already getting some stress marks on this figure, and I only got it yesterday, so that does kind of suck. But it is not a big deal, but it does tell me that the plastic may not be the best quality for this figure. But either way, vehicle mode looks so good. This is a very, very nice rendition of a Generation 1 Ironhide, in my opinion. Now, Ironhide does come with two weapons, these two identical pea shooters, essentially, and you can store them in multiple places. You can store them on top, like so, and like so you could have that going on, or you could store them on the underneath. There are two little tabs right here. Wait, oh yeah, there we go. You could just like tab them underneath the vehicle mode, like so you could have him shooting from underneath his vehicle mode, which looks kind of weird, but it's a thing you could do. Or you can store them underneath. What you have to do to store them underneath, you have to store them like pretty much facing this way for it to work properly. But basically, you have to have the peg where he holds it facing into the tire, and then pop that in like so, and pop that in like so. And that is the storage option that I prefer the most. It kind of looks more like exhaust pipes, so that does work a lot better. And he can't really roll with these underneath. At the same time, some of these tires do get hindered just by the handle in like facing there, but it can roll if you press it down hard enough. But I don't want to do that on like a hard surface, so I wouldn't recommend so. But yeah, so overall, the vehicle mode itself is so nice. Now, one thing I also do want to point out is you can see the robot legs underneath, and that is pretty much the entire thing. He's just kind of crouching and sitting in a really weird position. But overall, besides that, oh, and you can see the head on the inside, visible head syndrome, as MGO would say. But yeah, so I mean, this is a very, very nice looking vehicle mode. Obviously, it's not perfect. Like I said, those hinges do not look too good in my opinion, but it is a sacrifice in order for the engineering on this figure to properly work. And speaking of engineering, let us get down to the transformation. To start off with, what we want to do is come around here to the back, take these sections right here, pop them forward, bring this back, flip it up, take it, untab it like so, and then bring it down. So bring down the feet, flip these inside and flip these back, covering them up like so, and then take these sections and flip it down, and we have the Among Us imposter. Oh, and we have the Among Us imposter. I am so funny. Anyways, to continue, what we want to do next is come around here to the front, take it and just untab it like so, and like so. Bring this forward, take these sections, untab them, bring them out. I'm gonna have to be a bit more careful considering the stress mark issue, but bring this down, bring this around, tab this in. I recommend tabbing that in first and then bringing it down. There is a peg right here and a slot right there, so you just want to bring that down and tab that into place like so. Do the same thing on the other side, rotate that around, tab that in, bring that down, tab it in, and there we go. Next, just take this section, flip that down, and untab the legs, and there we have the legs all done. Now next, what we'll want to do is take the arms, we'll take the hands first, bring them forward like so, untab the arms like that and like that, bring them forward and tab them in like so, and then come around here to the bottom, take this, bring it down, and come around here. You kind of want to wedge this out, rotate this around if you can. It's kind of hard to get clearance, but there we go. And then bring that down and tab that into place like so. Take this, bring this up, and then take the head, just kind of pull it out like so. You kind of have to pull it out manually, and then take these sections right here, fold these in like so, and take this, fold that in, and close all of that in just like that. Readjust everything, and here we have the Studio Series 86 Ironhide in his robot mode, looking insanely G1 accurate and looking so good. Now, like in vehicle mode, the robot mode does not feature a whole lot of paint, but there is some paint there. For example, the shoulders right here are painted in a kind of gray, like this, like glossy gray, which does look good, and the hands as well. The face is painted fairly nicely with that silver, and the eyes are painted with a nice baby blue. And then just the rest of it, you got the gray, the dark gray, the light gray, and then the legs, which are just basic red, and pretty much the same exact front of the vehicle from vehicle mode. The back, however, is very messy, but it is at least somewhat clean in a sense. With this part right here, the thing that sucks about this is this does not really tab in anywhere. It just kind of hangs off, unlike the past Ironhide figures that this is sorely based off of, where it did tab in, but that is not an option on this figure. Now, this is the main issue that I have with this figure, and I was kind of anticipating this to happen, not in a good way, but considering Hasbro's current QC issues when it comes to Transformers, I knew this was going to be a problem on my figure, and I just expected it at this point, which is kind of sad, but he is so loose at the legs. That is not funny. Not even loose the legs, but this part doesn't even tab in properly. It just kind of goes there. Like, it doesn't really tab in. And then the legs, don't even get me started on this. Holy crap. Like, that is not good. So, Hasbro, you gotta step up your QC, guys. Like, literally, that is not good. Especially when it comes to trying to pose this thing. Like, it is not too fun. Like, pulling off poses is possible, don't get me wrong. But that's just not fun to deal with at all. So, Hasbro, like, this is a great figure. And you had the perfect opportunity to make the perfect definitive Ironhide figure at a retail price, yet you screw us over with loose joints. Please be better. We can't already be having mold degradation problems when this figure has barely even reached store shelves. So guys, just do better here, because it's not fun when you pay $30 to $40, because I paid $40 for this thing, and get like absolute awful quality control. So guys, please, like, do not waste our time and money when it comes to this stuff, because this is very it's just one of those things. But anyways, now the guns, like I did mention before, you can add them in the hands, like so and like so, and they look very nice when he holds them. So that is one cool thing. But overall, the way this figure looks, and I just cannot get over how good this figure looks. It is so nice in my opinion. But Anyways, let us talk about the posability. First, we do have a ball joint at the head, which allows him to look up, except his head has this weird problem in the ball joint where it just does not want to look up. So, yeah, but it's there. And then again, we do have a hinge joint, like right in here from transformation, so that can work. The head does rotate all the way around, and there isn't really much posability. Even though it's on a ball joint, there's not really much there. One cool thing is when you move the arms out, there is this really cool bit of robotic detail underneath. That does look really good. Rotates all the way around, full 360 rotation at the bicep, a 90-degree bend at the elbow, and a swivel at the hand. And the hands can go down, but that is also mainly for transformation. The torso can swivel like all the way around, like so, and then there is a flap at the crotch that does go up mainly for the legs, so the legs can kick forward about that much, back all the way, and then we do get a swivel at the knee, which is also very loose, and then we do get a 90-degree bend at the shin, and the feet are very posable. You can pretty much do whatever you want. They have a really good pivot, and they can go down and up about that much, so you do have a lot of range and a lot of options when it comes to standing this guy up, but in terms of articulation, that is really about it. And with the posability, you can get him in a lot of really good poses. And for a quick size comparison, here we have the Studio Series 86 Ironhide next to his other Studio Series Ironhide counterpart, the 2007 movie Ironhide. See how they scale together. And here he is with his second Studio Series Transformers counterpart, the Bumblebee movie Ironhide, which they actually do look pretty good together. I am seeing a lot of similarities with like the blue plastic, the silver paint, and just the overall color scheme. So yeah, lots of similarities. But yeah, and a Bandai Movie Monster Series figure for scale, because why not? And overall, this is one of, if not my favorite Ironhide figure so far. Now, saying favorite Ironhide figure can be a bit, iffy, because I do have a few favorite Ironhides. This one, for example, I love this Ironhide, but I'd have to say this is my favorite G1 style Ironhide, because the past ones that we've gotten, we have not gotten anything relatively close to this. I'd say the closest thing we've gotten to a perfect Ironhide was the Earthrise. Then again, the Earthrise figure, you had to take off the entire top of of the back, or of the top of the vehicle to become a shield. But with this figure, we don't really get that, and I'm fine with that. And instead, we get absolute black magic, essentially, because the way that they were able to perfectly come up with like the way that the back folds into the feet, and the way that the sides of the vehicle fold into the legs, like it's still visibly there, like it's there, but the way that they do it is so intuitive that it practically could just be considered black magic at this point. Everything else though about this figure is so good, the painting, the detail, all of it, but just the looseness in the legs and the torso. It's just it takes this figure down quite a few notches in terms of quality, but the transformation is fun to go through. The overall look of the figure in both modes is absolutely outstanding. But yeah, so this is just a great figure in my opinion. But anyways, guys, that is about it for this review. I hope you all enjoyed. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.